I don't know if anyone here has ever worked at a bank, but the lowest paid employees hold the most prestigious positions there. In the back office, you'll find the folks who handle things like foreign exchange reconciliation and stock clearing. Because of Coinbase's acquisition of funds from BlackRock and other sources, as well as the fact that regulations mandate the use of a third party for crypto custody, traditional financial institutions are increasingly interested in entering this market. Bony, B-O-N-Y Melon, or any. So of the other typical suspects would be a good choice for your custody assignment. Now, there's all this cryptocurrency in these companies, and the most vulnerable employee is likely making $50,000 to $60,000 a year, while being severely underappreciated and overworked. Internet security is of little concern to them. Their money is not at stake. I intend to go after if I hack cryptocurrency. Drawing on his personal portfolio, Arthur Hayes recently discussed his crypto plan for 2024 in a podcast on Coin Bureau. Particular emphasis was placed on the far-reaching effects of the synthetic dollar stablecoin Athenas on the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Hayes also brought up the topic of meme coins, predicting that they would be replaced with. Hayes brought up the inherent vulnerabilities of crypto during the conversation, especially with regard to centralized institutions and custodial security. The price of Bitcoin had fallen 4% in the previous 24 hours, but had risen 8% in the previous 30 days, with a market cap of approximately $66,000 as discussed in the podcast. Remarkably, the maximum value of one Bitcoin is $1,000. Among these financial institutions in the United States, internet security is seen as an afterthought, because they have never had control of an asset and cannot obtain another rescue from the Treasury or the Fed. In the event that they lose it, they are completely clueless. There is no way to be rescued from crypto because no one has spoken anything. There is, therefore, no one you can ask to magically generate the Bitcoin or Ether you have on hand. For the next 2 to 3 years, I foresee a large crypto custodian being hacked and losing $1,500 billion worth of crypto. This danger is based on my observations of the shifting power dynamics in the market. In my opinion, it is how the cycle would conclude. Additionally, regarding options, I would like to have a little floored experience so that viewers are familiar with zero-day options, the most traded instrument in the US. Curiously, the CBOE held off on introducing zero-day options for a long time because they were unable to reach a level where they could reliably margin option writers in real time. You have infinite upside loss potential when you write an option, like particularly a call option. Who then does that? They were massively pressured by brokers to introduce these goods because of how lucrative they are from a retail standpoint, but they ultimately decided against it. As a result, option writers who work for large market-making firms such as Citadel are required to deposit no collateral intraday when writing zero-day options. At CBOE, they don't understand intraday risk. So picture this: you invest in a Bitcoin or Ethereum ETF with zero-day options, and for whatever reason, Bitcoin's value increases by 50% every day. Additionally, there will be a great deal of retail and all these guys involved in the long period of volatility. The sellers are charging exorbitant fees for it. On this specific day, though, market gaps widen, scorching your Gamma and Vega to the point that Citadel suddenly drops $30 billion, correct? Plus, they are missing it. Everyone else is on board with it, too. I conducted extensive research on all the main U.S. exchanges and their clearing houses, but I have never publicized this work. Their capitalization is severely inadequate. If the U.S. government were to tap into an unstoppable asset like Bitcoin or one of these others, it would not take much to put the entire financial system into bankruptcy. Regarding potential market events, it is another intriguing risk. Since central banks have shielded them from real danger, TradFi has no concept of what it means to integrate with us. Additionally, there are assets that are traded globally and have a good grasp of risk, as they are basically instruments with long volatility. Thus, an intriguing matter. These days they rely on others. There's another angle to consider. A key feature of the Federal Reserve is its autonomy. There is no power in Joe Powell, no matter how much he thinks he rules the world. Janet Yellen has complete autonomy to do what she pleases. Yellen can empty the Treasury General account of $800 billion with the tap of a pen, whereas Powell hasn't changed interest rates. Should she happen to roll over in her sleep, she has the power to deduct a sum from Swift's account. Her primary responsibility is to ensure Joe Biden's re-election, and she is the most wealthy person on the planet. And so whatever, Powell and all the governors may write all these beautiful papers over at Mariner Eccles Gilding in New York, but There has always been a spectacle put on by the Treasury Department. One of the papers discusses central bank FX swaps, and it was published by the Atlanta Fed not long ago. The report essentially argues and provides a detailed account of every instance that the Federal Reserve has consistently supported overseas dollar debtors from its creation in 1913. Where a foreign institution or bank's overseas branch received freshly minted money from the Federal Reserve. So long as it's necessary, we've been doing this for a century, the piece said. The Federal Reserve is not autonomous. It was probably put out by the Atlanta Fed last month. Excellent work, I urge you to peruse it. They're running for the same office. They're both elderly dimwits. They are the public faces of the two parties that support them. Because of the benefits that accrue to those in power, they will unwaveringly support them. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are guilty. Look at any estimate by nonpartisan outlets of the deficit's current status, and you'll see that neither candidate is promising to slash spending and run a balanced budget, or surplus rather. They're both offering free stuff if you elect them. Covered by the other losers, that is the point. So, which of those messages is more effective? You have no idea. It makes no difference to me what message people respond to. I have a feeling they're both creating money by the tail. That being said, following the election, whatever worked today, be it big cap tech or crypto. Furthermore, depending on the outcome of the Trump sentencing, whether he is in jail or not, there may be some instability in the event of a civil war or a conflict between opposing factions, right? Nonetheless, I believe that in the end it will be meaningless, and one of them will be elected. Think about the issues that both parties vote on together every time, regardless of whether it's a Republican president, Democrat, House, or Senate, or vice versa. Arms, aren't they? Ukrainian nation. Everyone always responds, yes, please more whenever the request comes up for more funding to be given to American defense firms so that they can bomb more people. This includes Iran and Israel. Therefore, when you break down the U.S. government's largest expenses, you'll see that defense and veterans payments take the cake, followed by healthcare interest expense. War has broken out. People are being killed by the American economy. And as long as their party stock rises, both sides are willing to murder people. Thus, the same thing happens at the same gathering. If you like one clown over another, then it's up to you. Therefore, it's not like I care. People love to see it. Just now, Arthur Hayes voiced his worries about possible dangers in the U.S. with a particular emphasis on the safety and susceptibility of financial institutions. Centralized businesses in the cryptocurrency field, especially those that hold significant quantities of cryptocurrency, might be prime targets for hackers, as Hayes pointed out, creating major dangers for the market. Regarding meme coins, Hayes further by saying that Dogecoin was his favorite.